the wasiyah, the will that the person should leave before he leaves this life. And the importance of this topic can be understood through the wasiyah itself. You know, when someone is dying, if you have experienced this, you stayed with someone who was dying, you never heard someone that when he's dying he will ask about his certificate or degrees or something. No. They will just ask about the issues that very important, and usually people are ignoring it in this life. For example, the loan, the debt, the rights of other people. So that's why we need to know this topic or this hukum, the rule of wasiyah, as many people do not pay attention to this until they meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The death is not something that we know when it's going to come. And the wasiyah, if there some type of the wasiyah are compulsory, which means that it's a must that to have it before we die. And that's why we will read some hadith, inshallah. Most of the companions, when they are about to die, they just go straight to the point of wasiyah and try to focus on the wasiyah and explain to their children properly before they leave this world. So, and Ibn Abbas rahimahullah said, al-idraru fil wasiyya min al-kaba'ir. If someone does the wasiyah in a wrong way, it's a major sin. It's a major sin, and it could be an indication of a bad end, su'ul khatima, ayadan billah. Because it will be one of the last things that you do before you leave this world, and you have to make sure you do it correctly. There are many verses in the Quran talked about the wasiyah. Some of them are abrogated, like for example, at the time of Jahiliyyah and even in the beginning of Islam, when someone dies, his wife should be looked after by his children for the whole year. All the expenses, the house, etc. So this should be covered by the family or the children. After that, she has to leave. During the year, she can leave. If she wants to get married, for example, she can stop this and leave the house. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ يَتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ وَيَذَرُونَ أَزْوَاجًا وَصِيَّةً أَوْ وَصِيَّةٌ, 2 narrations. لِأَزْوَاجِهِمْ مَتَاعًا إِلَى الْحَوْلِ. So this verse is talking about a rule that is already abrogated, that we don't have this in Islam now. In Islam is completely different, because now the mother, the wife should spend 4 months and 10 days for iddah, and she will be looked after by her children until she dies anyway, not like the Jahiliyyah before. Actually, the people of ignorance, Jahiliyyah, they used to marry their father's wife. You know this. I mean, before, when she finishes the iddah, the first one will propose the nikah for her husband's son, to keep his father's wife in the same house. But this is prohibited in Islam, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. One of the hadith of the wasiyah, a companion came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, "O Prophet of Allah, inna ummi ftulitat." My mother passed away suddenly. And I think if she have a chance to speak, she will donate, or she'll tell me to donate. Will she get any reward if I donate on her behalf? The Prophet ﷺ said yes. And we know that there are 2 types of actions that they are agreed upon. The dead person will receive the reward for them is the sadaqah and the dua. Supplication and sadaqah. The rest, there are different opinions. For example, reciting Quran or doing hajj on their behalf or umrah, etc. There are different opinions. But dua, supplication and sadaqah, it's agreed upon. If you want to do the best deed you can do for a beloved one that passed away, you give sadaqah and make dua for them. I don't mean that the rest of the actions will not be accepted. No, I'm just telling you that those 2 actions are agreed upon. So this man is saying his mother passed away suddenly. And you know, mawtul faj'ah, the sudden death, can come anytime. That's why you need to be ready. You need to be prepared for this. The donation in your life is better than the wasiyah or donation after your death. Keep this in mind. So when we talk about wasiyah, we are not saying you must do it after your death. If you can do it now, do it now. It's much better. Why? Because number one, it's guaranteed. You will do it. after your death, you don't know whether they will do it or not. Don't trust anyone. Even your children. They will be busy. So sometimes it's difficult, especially if the wasiyah is something that's difficult to do. You can't rely on them. So if you want, for example, to do waqf, do it now. Why you leave it until you die? Do it now. So donation when you are alive is more rewardable than the wasiyah, than donation that you give after your death. When the Prophet ﷺ was asked about the best sadaqah, he said, أنت صدق وأنت صحيح شحيح تخشى الفقر وتأمل الغنى. The best sadaqah, that the sadaqah when you give when you are healthy and stingy, and you hope to become rich and you are scared that you might become poor. So you are in the middle class. You're not very, very rich, and you're not poor, and you are healthy, you're not ill. When you are ill, you might think about akhirah. But you're not healthy, you don't care. So in that situation, if you remember to give sadaqah, that means your iman is very high, and this is the best sadaqah you can do. And also, bear in mind something important. Spending on your family is more rewardable than giving sadaqah to other people. And that's why when the Prophet ﷺ visited Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and he was so ill, and at that time he had only one girl. So, and he was rich. So he said to the Prophet ﷺ, I have a lot of money. Can I donate all of my money after his after his death? He said no. He said, what about half? He said no. He said, what about 1/3? He said, الثلث 1/3 والثلث كثير. It's too much. It's better for you to leave your heirs rich than leaving them poor and begging and asking people for help. And also the Prophet ﷺ said, دينار أنفقته في سبيل الله. A dinar that you spent for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. دينار أنفقته في رقبة, and you spend another dinar to free a slave. دينار تصدقت به على مسكين. A dinar you give to a poor person, and a dinar you spend on your family. The most rewardable one is the one you spend in your family, as long as it is something, within the barrier of the halal and the reasonable expenses. And one companion, he made a wasiyah, and just look at this wasiyah, intention is good, but the action is wrong. So the Prophet ﷺ was so upset. He had 6 slaves, and this is what he had. His wealth was just 6 slaves. And what he did, he freed the 6 of them after his death. So when he died, they came to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ was very upset. Very upset. And he made them 3 groups, 2, and they made a qur'ah lottery, and just 2 of them was freed, and the 4 stayed. Because you can only give 1/3 of your wealth after your death, as we will study inshallah. So what is wasiyah? Wasiyah, that anything you give after your death, anything that you give as a donation after your death is wasiyah. So if you owe me money, ya Sulaiman, is this money a wasiyah after your death? Why? Yeah, exactly. Whether you mention or not, it has to be taken out. But if you are clever, you have to make sure that you mention this in your wasiyah to make sure that I will receive my money. But the compulsory one, like inheritance is not wasiyah, it's mirath. It's divided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why if you look at the mirath, subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided it properly. Why? Because it's an issue of money. And money, when there is money, there are problems. Usually when there is money, there is a problem. You might live in a easy life, nice life, smooth life without money. And you might live in a trouble and problems with your close friends and relatives because of money. Money not always means of happiness. It could be means of happiness, but it could be means of miserable life as well. So whatever you leave after your death with the intention of donation is a wasiyah. And we call this uqud tabarru'at. Now, I've seen many of you attended the last lecture. and we spoke about two types of contracts. One is mutual contracts, muawada, and the other one, donation contracts. Do you remember this? Alhamdulillah, no one remembers. Alhamdulillah. Which means that I have to come back again and repeat this. Okay, we have two types of contracts. One is the mutual, muawada. I give you this water, you give me £1. This contract is bay'a, is a sale, isn't it? So here, you can't have ambiguity, you can't have riba, you can't have many prohibitions elements. But when it comes to donation contract, it's only binding for one side, not both sides. When I say, I want to give you what is in my pocket, Ya Sulaiman, as a gift, are you binding to accept it? You can say no, I refuse it. Okay, I am binding to give it to you now because I told you this. If it's a tissue, will you be upset? But have you lost something? You can take it and throw it away. But if I sell what is in my pocket for £1, then I give it to you, then you find just a tissue that I already used. Will you be upset? And you lost £1. So in the second contract, in the mutual contract, it's haram to have ambiguity. But in the donation contract, you can have ambiguity. Wasiyah is donation contract, which means ambiguity is okay. Is okay. We will give examples of ambiguity in wasiyah. And is it compulsory or not? Many scholars did not do wasiyah. Sorry, many companions did not have wasiyah. Or at least we did not know that they have wasiyah. Why? Because not all of them were rich. Some of them were not rich. And some scholars said wasiyah is not compulsory except if you are a rich person and you have poor relatives. In this situation, you must give them. You are a rich man and you have relatives that are poor, then you must give it to them. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this in the Quran about giving the كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف. It's prescribed for you when death approaches any of you, if he leaves wealth, that he makes a bequest to parents and next of kin. So they said this is compulsory. But this verse is abrogated. This is the opinion of Jamhur, majority of the scholars, which means it's preferable to give your poor relatives wasiyah or they leave something for them if you are rich. But it's not compulsory, it's preferable. Actually, some scholars said if you leave a wasiyah, Dr. Usama, if you leave a wasiyah, you said, I want to donate £10,000 after my death. Okay? And when you die, we find that your cousin is poor. Some scholars say no, it shouldn't be given to anyone except your cousin. It must go to him. He has the priority to receive this money because he's a relative and you must give him, help him. And wasiyah could be compulsory when there is a haqq, a right of someone. As I said to you, Suleiman, you owe me money, okay? Everybody's witness. Suleiman is owe me money now. Does he need to write the wasiyah? He doesn't. Why? Because there are many people know this. But it's preferable. But if no one knows, then he must write it down. He must write it down. Otherwise, I will lose my money if he dies. And when we say write a wasiyah, I'm not saying write it when you are 83 years old. No, I'm talking about now. If you owe someone money, owe someone something, and you could die anytime and nobody knows about it, then you must have it written. And you tell your family, this is my wasiyah, and this actually, we will talk about other issues that it makes it compulsory upon us to write our wasiyah now. So if you owe someone something, then it's a must to have this in your wasiyah. And Umar ibn Khattab, when he was stabbed and he was about to die, he just called Abdullah ibn Umar. What did he say to him? I have a debt, I have a dain. Try to give it back. And if you don't have enough money from my inheritance, then find from Bani Adi, his family. And if not enough, then go and ask Quraysh, his tribe. If not, don't ask anyone. But please say, do your best to give it back. Umar ibn Khattab owed people money while he was dying. And he was the Ra'is, the Prime Minister, the Khalifa of the Muslimin. Like the Khulafa nowadays. All of them are poor. When they leave the chair, they all just go in flats and normal life like us. Okay, Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhu ardah, he was in the Battle of Uhud expecting himself to die. Subhanallah, this feeling comes to many companions and even people nowadays. Some people when they are about to die, they have that kind of feeling. So he said, he grabbed his son, Abdullah, grabbed his son Jabir, says, Jabir, I feel tomorrow I will be one of the first people will die in Battle of Uhud. I'm just worried about my dain, my debt, my loan. Please pay it back, my son. And look at the story of Abdullah ibn Zubair. This is a story that we need to hear, subhanAllah. It's very nice. Zubair ibn Awam, you know Zubair ibn Awam? What's the relationship between Zubair ibn Awam and the Prophet ﷺ? Cousin. His cousin, huh? And Zubair, his son is Abdullah. Is that correct? His mother? Safiya. His mother, Safiya. His wife, Asma. But he divorced her. Yeah, Zubair, his wife Asma. Asma, daughter of Abu Bakr. And Zubair, his mother is Safiya. It said that she was very tough. She used to beat him. And Zubair bin Awam is the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. Anyway, you know when he died? He died in Battle of Jamal. Battle of Jamal between whom? Aisha and Talha and Zubair, and here Ali and the rest. So it was a fitna, hypocrites involved between the companions, and they created fitna, and companions fought each other. Anyway, Zubair, before they started, he grabbed his son Abdullah. Zubair at that time, Zubair ibn Awam, he had 10 children. 10 children. One of them is Abdullah. His son Abdullah, how many children he has? 19. More than his father. So, Abdullah Zubair has 19 and Zubair has 10. Zubair called Abdullah, say, Abdullah, listen, today, the people who will die today, either an oppressor or oppressed. Imma zalim or madloom. And I am going to be killed as a madloom, as an oppressed. So he felt it. He knew that he was killed. And he said, oh my son, I have only one thing that is disturbing me, my dain, my loan, my debt. How did he get loan as Zubair? He had, when he died, he has about 2,200,000 loan. Rahimahullah. People trust him. So they want, it's like a bank. They want to keep their money safe. They come and give it to him. They say, can you keep it for us? He say, no, I don't want to keep it as amana, as in my safe. No, I will take it as a loan. Whenever you want, come back, I will give it to you. Because if you give it to me to keep it safe, it will be difficult for me and I might lose it. Give it to me as a loan. I will keep it for you whenever you want to come and take it. So people, they trust him and give it to him. So 2,200,000. And he died, he has 4 wives and 10 children. So when he died, was killed, Abdullah ibn Zubair start selling the properties of his father. Zubair did not have money. He has a place called Al-Ghaba in Medina. It's a big, huge place. And he has 11 houses in Medina and 2 houses in Egypt, 1 in Kufa and 1 in Basra. So about 14 properties. So look at their lives. The 10th that mentioned one hadith, the Prophet told that they will be in the people of the Jannah. 6 of them were millionaires. Millionaires. One of them is Zubair ibn Awam. He died, he lived normal life. So he wear normal clothes, just eat normal life. But they have millions in properties, and when they need to spend, they can spend. So now the mentality is when you have million, you will go straight away and you'll buy a Ferrari or Mercedes, you will have a big house, nice and very latest clothes, a business class, etc. This is what you are about. For them, they used to have millions, the millions in their pockets, in their properties. and they just eat normal, live normal. When someone needs help, they have money. When Islam needs help, they have money. When something happened to them, they have money. You see the difference? The money that they used to have, they use it just when they need. For us, we collect money to show off. That's why we don't have barakah in our money. We work, akhi, maybe since we were 20 or 24 years old until you get 50, 60, 80, and you can't make 1 million pounds. This man is fasting, is fighting jihad for sabilillah. He has 4 wives, 10 children. They left Mecca, muhajirun, they left their money, and he's millionaire. How did he make this money? Barakah. This is the barakah. You know Abdurrahman ibn Auf, how much he left? You know how much he left, Afdal? Abdurrahman Auf? You working day and night? Abdurrahman Auf left $1,088,000,000. They counted his wealth, comparing to the dollars now, 1,088,000,000 pounds. Now Zubair, when he died, anyway, Abdullah started selling the properties, it's a long story, and give it. After he finished, he paid the 2,200,000. He waited for 4 years. Every year, he go to Mecca and call people. Anyone owes, Zubair owes him something, he can come and pay him. After 4 years, he divided the money. He has 4 wives. What's the share of the wives in Iraq? 1/8. Because he has children. If he doesn't have children, it will be 1/4. But he has children, 1/8. And there are 4 of them. Every one of them got 1,050,000. So 1/8 of his inheritance was 4 million something. Radiyallahu anhu wardah. And it's disliked to do wasiyah if your heirs, inheritors are poor and they need your help. It's not preferable. Then they have priority to leave the money for them. Actually, when you become ill, do you know that Islamically, when you become ill and it's the illness of death, it's not your money. It's out of your control now. You can only have 1/3 as a wasiyah. The rest is not your money. So if someone, la samah Allah, got cancer and he knows that he's dying, in that time, the money that he spent his life working and accumulating is not his. He can only use 1/3. So if he said, I'm going to donate my money, I say, you say, no, you can't now. It's only have 1/3. It's too late. So if you want to do something, do it. وَأَنْتَ صَحِيحٌ شَحِيحٌ تَخْشَى الْفَقْرَ وَتَأْمِلْ الْغِنَى. You are healthy and stingy and you hope to become rich and you are scared to become poor. This is the best sadaqah. After that, the sadaqah is very... And also Aisha, a man came to Aisha radhiyallahu anha and said, I wanted to make a wasiyah. She said, how much you have? He said, I have 3,000. She said, how many children you have? He said, I have 4. She said, no, leave the money for them. Allah said, in taraka khayran, if he leaves wealth, you left nothing. 3,000 for 4 children, leave it to them. Also, it's if you have enough money and your children or your dependent are rich, they're not in need, then it's preferable to do wasiyah. Why? Wasiyah is one of the best action you do to benefit you when you die. Imagine that as an example. You are visiting some people, okay? And you're taking some sweets with you, and you're taking some gifts, you're taking some, a lot of things. Will this make them happy with you? Will this make them happy with you? وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. You are dying and you are taking with you things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, this I have done this, I've done that before I die. So this will intercede for you when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you do wasiyah, the one who does the wasiyah must be free, no slave and no don't have slave, and must be a mumayyiz. What does mumayyiz mean? We have someone who's baligh, reach the age of puberty, and we have a child who knows nothing, does not differentiate between good and bad, and we have a gap between them, a child or someone who did not reach the age of puberty, but at the same time he or she can differentiate between good and bad. He or she can do wasiyah. We said that wasiyah is a donation, isn't it? The wasiyah is donation. If we have a child, and I mentioned this in one of the durus here, definitely I mentioned this. if there is a boy who inherited £1 million from his father, and he wanted to go and buy chocolate, he will pay £100,000 for chocolates. The one who is responsible in this boy, is he allowed to allow him to do this? Why? He's mumayyiz. No, he's mumayyiz. He knows the good and bad, but he likes sweet. He wants to eat. Forget about the sweet. He wants to donate £100,000. Huh? Why? He's not very foolish. He's clever, but he hasn't reached the age of puberty. Is he allowed or not? Now we have different opinions. Some scholars say yes, some say no. The rest are sleeping, which is the best opinion, to sleep. The boy or the girl that we call him mumayyiz, that he didn't reach the age of puberty, but they can differentiate between good and bad. When they have money, they have wealth, usually we have someone wali, someone in charge to look after them, okay? The wali cannot allow them to spend the money now, without his permission, because they could harm themselves. When they give 100,000 for chocolate or donate with 100,000, this will affect them, because as the brother say, even they know the good and bad, but they haven't reached the age of puberty that we guarantee that they know what they do. They might be sensitive, they might be emotional, so they give the sadaqah. But this, when it comes to something to do in this world. But if he wants to give for the hereafter, we don't say no. I'm not talking about donation, about the wasiyah. Something that will take place after his death. The scholars say it's fine. Why it's fine? Number one, he will benefit of this when he dies. Secondly, it's only 1/3. It's restricted. It's not open that he can spend all his money. So it's safe for him to use his right in wasiyah. What about the insane? Can he do wasiyah? He can't, because wasiyah must be done by someone who's not insane. And al-musa lahu, the one who we will do the wasiyah for him. The second one. Al-musi is the testator. Al-musa lahu is the legatee. So al-musa lahu is the one that we're going to give him the wasiyah. Does he need to be existing when we do the wasiyah? If I say, I want to give 100,000 to son of Sulaiman, that will be born. He's not born yet. Can we do wasiyah like this?
No, because it's not known.
Huh?
No, because there's no certainty. There's not known.
There's no certainty.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, very good. He said there's no certainty.
But doesn't need certainty.
Exactly. We said wasiyah is donation. We don't need certainty. Ambiguity does not affect the wasiyah. So I can do it. When I die, if Sulaiman has a baby, alhamdulillah, he's lucky, he will get the money. If not, just leave the money for my inheritors, and that's it. So there's no necessity to have to eliminate to take the ambiguity away from the wasiyah. Can we donate to the hospitals? Because the one who we give wasiyah to must have ability to own. Can we donate to hospitals, brothers? Can we do wasiyah for hospitals? Before you die, say, I want to spend 20,000 in Glenfield Hospital to help people with heart problems.
It's a public organization.
Which means?
They can't own the funds.
They can't own, yeah, it's public, they can't own it. But it's a company, it's like company, the company can own the money, isn't it? But are we allowed or not? He says it's permissible. But at this time, that you are donating or giving wasiyah to the hospital, and the hospital is looked after by a trustee or by owner, whoever. They will spend money on that purpose. So basically you are spending this money towards to help people, not to the hospital itself. What about animals? If you have a dog, like I heard this, someone has a dog and he gave wasiyah maybe 100 million for his dog. Why you laugh? You don't like dogs? Very tough people, huh? People, he like dogs, akhi. He wants to leave money for his dog.
He doesn't.
Is it permissible or not to donate or to give wasiyah to an animal? Now I said dogs, everybody start laughing and thinking it's funny. Okay, if we have horses that will be used for jihad for sabilillah, are you allowed to make wasiyah for these horses? And now you say yes, huh? So don't say no until you try to understand the wisdom behind it. Okay? If we do the wasiyah for the dogs or the animals or the horses, for them to own the money, then of course it's not permissible because animals cannot own the money. But if we do this for the purpose of spending and looking after those animals, it's fine. As long as the animal these type of animals are beneficial to the human being. So you can't do wasiyah for pigs, for example, khanzir, because it's haram and it's not there's no benefit from a khanzir. But for horses, for things like this, it's permissible as long as you do it with the intention of looking after them, not to give it to them as a owner. Also, are you permissible to do wasiyah to non-Muslim? And this verse is boring. You know why? Because first of all, it makes you think about your death. Maybe you die very soon. That's why you're preparing wasiyah. Secondly, it is when it comes to mawarith, it's very complicated. So I'm asking you, try to wake you up. That's why, because some people start snoring already there. So at least we have one sleeping. Yeah. So is it permissible to give wasiyah to a non-Muslim? Yeah, if he's a relative, there's no problem. Relative, non-relative, it doesn't matter. Are you allowed to give wasiyah?
They're not allowed mirath for sure.
Not mirath. Talking about wasiyah. Why? Yes. He's non-Muslim.
If he benefits Islam, to bring his heart closer to Allah.
That's it.
Or maybe he's a poor man, or he's a human being.
He's a human being. Yeah, I mean, we give it to him just to help as a human being. Yeah. Yeah. They said if always try to classify the hukum and make it proper. Are you allowed to give it to a non-Muslim who wants to kill you? Harbi? Okay, so you said no now. Okay, so now Harbi, take him away. You can't give it to a non-Muslim who's fighting you, who won't kill you. Okay? What about a non-Muslim that is relative and is not your enemy? It's fine. Because now there is no mafsada. There is no mafsada. And that's why Safiya, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, you know Safiya? Where is she originally from? Exactly, Bani Israel. She was Jewish. So she had a brother. She said to him, embrace Islam, you will inherit me. So he started thinking. Then his shayateen around him say, come on, you leave your deen for money? Look at the Yahudi, very strict in their deen. You leave your iman, you leave Jahannam for money? Come on, stay with us. So he didn't embrace Islam. So she made a wasiyah for him. Because they have brother, she wanted to help him anyway. So it's permissible to give a non-Muslim, a relative that non-Muslim, as long as he's not an enemy to Islam. What about the sigha, which is the form of wasiyah? There's not necessary to say, I am going to give wasiyah. As long as it's understood, it's wasiyah, it's acceptable. Can you give me example the way that we understand it's wasiyah? Like what? Example? If someone is ill and he's dying, then he start calling his children, come next to me, please sell my car and donate it to the Masjid At-Taqwa. So what do we consider this? Wasiyah. Not necessary for him to say, I awsaytu bi sayyarati, I mentioned the word wasiyah. No, as long as he just says what it means the wasiyah, that is enough. Also, if I say, I am leaving 1/3 of my money to all those people who attended my dars. Now, do you need to accept this? Or it's automatically yours? Did you understand it? Suleiman, you are dying, okay? Before you die, you say, I'm going to give 10,000 pounds, my money, to that specific person, one of your close friends. Okay? Then they went to him. So they said to him, Sulaiman left 10,000 for you, and he is in hospital, and he left 10,000. He said, no, I don't want it. I don't like Sulaiman anymore, so I don't want anything from him. Can he reject this or not? Okay. But when Sulaiman died, he started crying. He said, no problem, I'll take it. Can we give it to him? But he rejected it while the Musa is alive. And this time is not time for acceptance. When the wasiyah become wasiyah? When? When you die. Now, if you don't die, you change your mind, and Allah give you Allah sahha and health, you come out from this illness, you can change your mind. You say, I will not give you 10,000. Because the wasiyah should take place after your death. And this benefits you. You can write your wasiyah today, you change it tomorrow, after tomorrow you can add, you can reduce. It's up to you. Until you die. When you die, it's done. And after your death, the Musa lahu, the one who will receive the wasiyah, must accept it. Because he can refuse it. If he is appointed. If I say, I will leave to Sulaiman 10,000, after my death, Sulaiman say, I don't want 10,000. Khalas? No one can force him. But if I say, I want to leave, and then what will happen? The 10,000 will go back to the inheritance. This is the difference. Now, Brother Nadeem, I know he like me. So he say, I will leave to Abu Yahya 100,000 pounds after my death. He dies. I say, I don't want the money. So what will happen now? The money will go back to his inheritance. But if Brother Nadeem said, I will leave 100,000 to the poor people. They came to me because I'm poor. I say no. They don't take it back. They'll go and find another poor person. So if the Musa lahu is not specified and he refuses the wasiyah, it should go back to the inheritance. But if it's not specified, we should find a suitable person to accept it.
What if he doesn't have inheritance?
Huh?
What if he doesn't have inheritance?
If he doesn't have inheritance, his money will go to one of two ways. If someone does not have any inheritance and he leaves millions, if he makes a wasiyah, the money should go to the wasi. If he says, after my death, I want all my money go to the masajid, it's allowed for him to do this because there are no inheritance. There are different opinions, but this is the correct, inshallah. If someone does not have any heirs, any inheritors, then he can leave all his wealth as a sadaqah, as a wasiyah. It's more than 1/3, all of it, but it's exceptions here. Why? Because he doesn't have heirs. But if he doesn't say anything, then it's going to go to the Baytul Mal al-Muslimin.
And if he asks the 1/3 to be given to a friend, for example, and he refused to go back to the Bayt Muslimin as well.
Exactly, yeah. It would go to the, as long as Baytul Mal, you know what's Baytul Mal Muslimin? What is it?
The state of affairs of where the Muslims govern.
What do we call it now here? Treasure, yeah? But now his treasure is surrounded by thieves. So if you give it to them, you will never see it. You need to make sure. Wallah, it's true. There are some people who are rich and they don't understand this. They leave their money after their death. They spend their life accumulating this money and they work hard to make this money. And unfortunately, they don't know how to spend it after their death. So people will use it in a wrong way. So make sure that the wealth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, you put it in the right way in your life and after death. At the same telling you, if you want to do something, do it now. Do it now. Don't leave your children poor. No, give them whatever they need. But whatever extra you have, don't rely on them. Do it first. Actually, if they are good, they must donate for you from their money to just give you a little bit back of what you have done for them. We mentioned in the khutbah, subhanallah, Ibrahim alayhi salam, the father of Ismail, when he left Hajar and Ismail in near Kaaba, no one was there. So when he left them and he went back, Hajar was chasing him. He said, Ibrahim, to whom you are leaving us here? There is no one here. Nothing, even animals, there's nothing. And he didn't answer. Until she said to him, did Allah ask you? Did Allah command you to do so? He said, yes. She said, okay, I'm happy. I'm satisfied with Allah's commands. When she left and she disappeared, he started making dua. ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع. Oh Allah, I've put some of my offspring to dwell in an uncultivable valley. So he started asking Allah to look after them. He didn't do it in front of Hajar. She might feel scared then. Okay, he is scared as well. He's worried as well. So it's a big problem. And this is the father. This is the father. Now, maybe you are in your house eating, drinking, happy, nice life and sleeping, relaxing. And he can't sleep because of a loan that he took just to provide you with shelter. Or because of a loan he took to teach you, do something. So this is the father, subhanAllah. Father is hiding, he's doing everything, just is the only person in this life loves you as you is your mom and your father. That's it. The rest love you for a reason. Your wife, your children, they love you for a reason. If your children, if you don't provide them with sustenance, they will hate you. If you go and sleep, you don't work, they will say you should stand up and go and work. How come you leave us? If you don't look after your wife, she doesn't like you. Your mother and father loves you whatever you are. Even if a criminal, they still love you. So they are the only two that love you sincerely, just you. They love this person. And I think you have this feeling, or most of you have children. Some of our children are naughty. But subhanAllah, you love your child, you love him, or you love her, you can't do anything. So you supposed to donate for your father after his death, not to wait for him to do a wasiyah or 1/3 of his wealth to spend after his death. So we mentioned that we can change in the wasiyah as much as you can. I will try inshallah to summarize. Also, the wasiyah can be withdrawn if you are alive. You can do this, no problem. What about, as we said, wasiyah, to do wasiyah with something unknown. Like for example, I say, give one of my houses as a sadaqah after my death. Is this okay? Why? It's a donation contract, so ambiguity does not affect. Give any house of my houses, it's fine. Okay, what about if I say, give my house to Dr. Osama, then I say, and give my house to Afdal. What we will do when I die? Fighting, or what do we do? MashaAllah, very good. When it comes to money, Afdal is the best person to ask. 50-50, yes, it's true. Because some people with what will say, no, we check who is mentioned after late. So if I mention Sulaiman, then Afdal, no, it's for Afdal because Sulaiman is cancelled. No, there as he said, 50-50. What if someone has a factory of alcohol? He said, I've donated my alcohol factory of alcohol to help the poor people in Burma. What do we do with this? What do we do? What's that?
The source is impure, the alcohol, where it came from is impure, that is haram.
It's haram. Yeah, it's haram. So we don't do this wasiyah. We don't follow this wasiyah. We don't do it. We just follow the Quran and Sunnah about this by destroying alcohol and not donating.
Shaykh, some people, they give this wasiyah that I don't want to see, when I pass away or when I'm passing, I don't want to see him in my janazah, I feel emotional.
Yeah.
What about this wasiyah?
It depends. It depends. We will mention some adab of wasiyah. If something haram, if they ask for something haram, wrong, we don't do it. For example, if someone is upset from his father, he said, if I die, I don't want to see my father. No, we don't listen to him. We allow his father to come. But it depends if what is haram or not. I remember a brother, subhanAllah, was giving wasiyah. He wants some people, subhanAllah, people very far from the deen, and he wants them to pray janazah for him. I don't know why he did. Maybe he liked them. So wasiyah like this is not preferable to implement it. Just find someone better to lead the salah on him.
What if somebody has like money with like mixed haram and halal?
Yeah.
And he asks to be given from masjid or something or whatever.
Yeah, if it's mixed, it's fine. Subhanallah, you know when you spend your life accumulating money, and even from haram way, Your children will take it as a halal. You will be punished and they will be enjoying the money. Wallahi. Allah, it's a big, ذلك هو الخسران العظيم. يعني it's a big loss.
And what if he is alive and give this is different maybe topic. Somebody alive and he has haram money or mix and give you from this like of food from that.
Bring it to Masjid Taqwa straight away. It's halal. Mixed money. Yahud. Allah said, أكالون للسحت. In Arabic language, أكالون, they eat. Oh, they always eat haram. Not they eat once. أكالون, they eat too much haram. أكالون للسحت, they eat haram Jews. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he was invited by them, he went and ate with them. And when he did with them buying and selling. So it's permissible. If the money is mixed, it's not that specific haram money, it's fine. Actually, you're dealing with Christian here. Some of them, their income is from haram ways, from riba, but its money is mixed. There is no harm to deal with them. Unless if you know that specific money is haram, then you can't take it. And yes, yeah. If you have any question, you can ask during the dars. Yeah.
So it is wasiya, a person says that, look, I don't want to die, if he dies in a non-Muslim land, he wants to be buried in a Muslim land.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, because it's permissible to do this. It's acceptable. You know, in wasiyah, what we do, we look at the wasiyah. If it is permissible, or even dislike, we do it. But if it's haram, we don't do it. This is the rule for the wasiyah. No. As long as it is documented and there are witnesses, it's fine. There is no need. Finish the janazah, everything. After that, you sit down and do the wasiyah. Actually, usually it takes time to do what is in a wasiyah. So after the janazah, after everything is finished, then you start the wasiyah or start doing the wasiyah. So what makes nullify the wasiyah? What's nullify the wasiyah? Yes.
Adapted who has not been announced. Adapted son or daughter who has not been announced.
Yeah.
Does he have the right of
Wasiyah, yes, he has. Inheritance. There is no adoption in Islam, which means that you can't, he can't take your name. But to have a yatim to look after him is fine. And you can give him from your inheritance as long as it's not more than 1/3. Because he doesn't have any right to inherit from your money. But you can give him. So if you are looking after an orphan and you said, I want to leave 1/3 for him or for her, it's fine. It's permissible. So what's nullify wasiyah?
If it's something haram,
Before this, we need the first thing. Sulaiman. What nullifies wasiyah? What nullifies action? What nullifies actions? Kufr, exactly, yeah. Ridda, iyadan billah. If the person leaves Islam, then the wasiyah is cancelled. It's cancelled. Also, wasiyah is nullified when it is with something haram. You know, Arabs before, they like to have a big funeral. And what they do in their wasiyah, they will tell their wives, listen, when I die, I want you to scream and cry and make noise as much as you can. Make it a big proper funeral for me. Is this halal? It's haram, niyaha. It's major sin. So this is not permissible to do. Also, wasiyah will be nullified if the wealth does not cover the debt and the loan of the person. Then all the money should go to the dain. Because the loan has priority before wasiyah. Wasiyah is preferable and the dain is compulsory. Also, wasiyah is nullified when it is given to one of the inheritors, one of the heirs. If you say, I want to leave to my son, this is a very good boy. And he's very obedient. And the other one is naughty. I want to give this one 1/3 of my inheritance. It's not allowed. What about your son's son, your grandson? Are you allowed to give him wasiyah? You are allowed. When? When they are not inheriting you. Now your grandson, if your son is alive, his children will not inherit you. But if your son dies and you don't have any children except your grandson, then might have shares. In this situation, it will be cancelled. If you, so let me finish this. If you said, I'm going to give 1/3 of my wasiyah to my son, to my grandson, okay? You've done everything. But before you die, your son dies. What will happen? It's cancelled because they become inheritors now. Yes, sir.
My question is, you can't give wasiyah to an inheritor. Can you, because I know some people do, can you in your lifetime, maybe just before the person dies or when they're old, they give something to that inheritor?
Okay. If the inheritor is a son or daughter, then you must give them equal. But if the inheritor is a father or mother, it's fine. Or another relative, it's fine. You can give whatever you want to give. It's your money while you are healthy. But if it's a son or daughter, then you must give them equal. طيب. And also we said you can cancel the wasiyah. Yes, akhi. Yes.
Suppose somebody passed away and somebody's made a false accusation
False accusation.
of the deceased person
Yeah.
and said that they owe me something
Yeah.
that they didn't owe them because of the false accusation.
Yeah.
So, but they owe them something, but not more than what they owe them.
Yeah. If there is no proof, no witnesses, we can't give him. Any claim after the death or even before the death, it must be accompanied with witnesses or a proof, documentation. Otherwise, we cannot accept. Actually, even if he's a truthful person, he's not a liar, we can't give him. Let's say, for example, you owe me 10,000. I owe you 10,000 pounds. Okay, you die, for example, or I die. If you don't have a document that state that you want this from me, or you don't have witnesses, then no one will pay you, and you're not allowed to take the money, or they are not obliged to give you the money that you claim, because without proof we can't give the person who claims something. البين على المدعي واليمين على من أنكر. Also, the wasiyah nullifies if we make it a conditional, and that condition does not happen. If I am ill, I say if I die in this illness, give brother Hassan 10,000 pounds. But then, alhamdulillah, then I recover from this illness and I became well. This wasiyah is cancelled now. Don't keep it with you in your mind until I die. Then you say, okay, he told me that. And I said, if I die in this illness, I'll give it to you. So it's cancelled now. It's cancelled. Not like, for example, another wasiyah. I'm ill. I said, give Hassan 10,000 pounds after my death. And I don't say if I die in this illness. So even if I recover and I become okay, and I die after 10 years and there are witnesses, it should be given to him. Because it's a wasiyah. It's not a conditional here. طيب. Giving more than 1/3 is not allowed. Is not allowed. The wasiyah should be 1/3 or less. Is it better to give 1/3 or to give less? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he said, I prefer to give 1/5. And this is the part or the share of the booty. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَأَنَّ لِلَّهِ خُمُسَهُ 1/5. Some companions, Ibn Abbas said, I hope people go for for quarter instead of 1/3. Because the Prophet said, الثلث والثلث كثير. 1/3 and 1/3 is a lot. So paying less is good. Some scholars said it depends on your situation. If you have a poor dependent, or not poor, they need the money, then give less than less than 1/3. But if they are rich and they don't need your money, then give 1/3 or 1/3 for your benefit. And also, if someone, and this happens, before they die, they say, okay, give my house as a sadaqah or waqf. So what we'll do when he dies, we will check, is this house more than 1/3 or less? If it's more than 1/3, what we will do? Don't give it? No. What we do, we give only 1/3 of it. We give only 1/3, unless if the heirs agree to give it. If they agree to give it, let me finish this inshallah. If they agree to give it, it's fine. Are you with me? Step 1. We give more than 1/3. So we give only 1/3 from that specific house or whatever. The rest we keep it. Or the heirs agree to give more than 1/3. They give all of it. It's fine. But if the heirs or one of them is young, a baby, what will happen? We can't give it. We give only for those who are adult and have the right to donate. Because when we say, give this house, and this house is the half of my wealth, the 1/3 does not need my permission. Above 1/3, it needs my permission. It becomes like a donation. And donation can only be given by the adult people, not their children. Yes, Akhi, you wanted to ask something? Yes. Ameen. لا نعم جزاك الله خير جيد نعم. He's talking about the ayah we mentioned. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ مَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَأَنَّ لَهُ خُمُسَهُ. That rules is from it's 1/5 of the booty should go to the Prophet ﷺ and his Ahlul Bayt. That was before when they used to do jihad, when they have a booty. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ مَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَأَنَّ لَهُ خُمُسَهُ وَلِلرَّسُولِ وَلِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specified this 1/5 for this purpose. I mentioned this because Abu Bakr said Allah chose 1/5 to take from the booty to give to the Prophet and his family. I choose 1/5 to give as a donation after my death. He just make like a qiyas on this one. طيب. Now, before we finish, we will just give very general rules about the wasiyah. First of all, in the wasiyah, try to be sincere. There is no point you are leaving this world, you leave something harm other people. Like for the brother mentioned, for example, say, in my wasiyah, I don't want this person to come in janazah, and I don't want to give that one. And some of them say, don't give my daughter this. Subhanallah, why you end your life with bad commands like this? Think about to reduce the questions and reduce the punishment. You are meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to increase it. Instead of making sadaqah jariyah, continuous charity, you are making it a continuous haram after your death. Also, try to do it as soon as possible. If you have something to do before you die, do it. Now I want to ask you, do you have something to do before you die? To tell your children? What's going on, man? I'm talking to myself. No one answers? Yes. Like? Debts. I don't have debts. Alhamdulillah. Do I need to mention something to my children? Huh? Advice. Wallahi, if I can, I know they won't listen to me, but if they listen to me, I will put in my wasiyah, as soon as I die, please destroy your mobiles, terminate your contract with internet, destroy the TV, and then you buy it again. It's up to you, from your money. But this is, I'm here, I was participating in this, and whatever wrong you do, I will be punished in my grave. So there are many things in our houses needs advice. So remember this, and you will see, subhanAllah, scholar used to write this. SubhanAllah, what Yaqub said to his, أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي. Yaqub, what he said to his children, what are you going to pray after my death? Said, we abudu ilahaka, your God, your Lord, and ilaha abaika, the Lord of your fathers, Ibrahim, Ismail. So he advised them to tawheed in his wasiyah. You need to mention this. Tell your children, make sure you stick to the Quran and the Sunnah. Make sure you love the companions. Make sure you keep away from ma'asi. At least you have something to argue when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that we buy mobiles for our children. We have TVs in our houses. We have internet. And 90% that some of this used in a wrong way. So we will be questioned about this. So at least put in your wasiyah what gives you a chance to argue on the day of judgment. Also, write it properly and clearly and try to be clever. Try to be clever. What do I mean by being clever? Some people when they say, put a wasiyah, I want to slaughter 10 sheep and cook them and distribute them on the night of the 27th in Mecca to feed the people there. Is this good wasiyah? It's good wasiyah. Is this better, or these 10 sheep, the money of those 10 sheep should be given to the poor person who struggles from cancer and needs some medication? There's a big difference. Those people in Kaaba, they're not hungry. They're full up. Actually, maybe your food will not be eaten. Is this better, or building a place teaching Quran? Is this better, or to make, for example, a marriage counseling center for Muslims? Muslims are, marriage now is very difficult to keep. Huh? Talaq, divorce everywhere. So when you make a center like this, it's more rewardable than feeding poor person. So if you are clever, you will know how to make your wasiyah, and you will be now knowledge. Now teaching people. Now in this field, I tried my best to convince some rich people to donate towards du'at, people who call to Allah, to donate towards some issues that to do with marriage counseling. They look very slow and lazy, and they don't feel happy to give towards this field. When it comes to masajid, they will pay. Well, alhamdulillah, that's good. But in some areas, you need these things more than masajid. Now in Leicester, for example, some masajid are opposite to each other. And the rate of divorce is too high. Muslims, the houses are being demolished. So which one is more important now? To have a center to sort the problem that the shaitan is doing between the Muslims or the families, or to build masjid after masjid after masjid. It's good to have masajid. I'm not saying it's something good. No, I'm just talking about balancing and priorities. So this field is untouched. No one knows about it except few. But this side is, mashallah, full of donations. You go and put there? No, go here. And try to pick up the most important thing. They call it wajibul waqt. What does it mean, wajibul waqt? That is something is more important than anything in your time. When the Prophet ﷺ sent Mu'ad ila Yemen, what did he say to him? Khalas, we're finishing. When he sent to Mu'ad ila Yemen, what did he say? إِنَّكَ تَقْدُمُ عَلَى أَهْلِ kitab. You are going to people of Ahl Kitab. Why he said to him this? Why? If you don't answer, I'm not going to finish the verse.
Because the demographic of them is bigger.
No. There's a risk the dars will carry on. Huh? Yes, Hassan. Hassan saved you. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So yeah, because you're going people of Al-Kitab, learn the aqidah of Ahlul Kitab. Prepare yourself. You go people of Al-Kitab and you know the issues of Hindu. They will not discuss with you the issues of Hindu. They'll discuss with you the issue of Al-Kitab. So prepare yourself for the doubts and the debates that you will have with the people of Al-Kitab. Again, here, if you are in Leicester, if you are in UK, know what people need here and try to focus on it and try to mention this in your wasiyah. وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خيرا. And sorry for keeping you late. جزاكم الله خيرا إن شاء الله.